It's funny how a moment can just shatter everything you thought you knew. 1 second you're just a dad trying to load his kids into the car for a grocery run, the next, a car screeches to a halt behind you, and your entire world gets twisted into a nightmare. That's how I felt the day Samantha tried to take Sophia. Liam was already buckled in, perfectly content in his car seat. Sophia was on my hip, her tiny hand clutching my shirt, when the car door slammed. Samantha. Her eyes, usually so calculating, were wild, fixed on Sophia. Her hair was a mess, clothes wrinkled, face pale, but those eyes, they burned with a terrifying intensity. "Hi, baby girl," she whispered, not to me, but past me, directly at Sophia. "Samantha. Get back in your car. Now." My voice was low, firm, but my heart was pounding a drum against my ribs. "I just want to hold her. 1 minute." She took a step closer. "You're violating a restraining order. Leave." "I don't care about the order. That's my daughter." Another step. I shifted Sophia further behind me, my phone already in my hand, dialing 911. "Don't. You can't do this. You can't keep her from me. She was supposed to be mine. Mom and Dad said her name is Sophia, and she's my daughter." I felt a cold dread spread through me. It wasn't just a delusion, she genuinely believed this. "Get back in your car." "No," she lunged. It happened so fast. She grabbed Sophia's jacket, actually got her hands on the fabric, a desperate, frantic pull. I twisted, instinctively holding my daughter tighter against my chest. Samantha stumbled, catching herself on my car door. Sophia started screaming, a piercing, terrified sound. Liam, in his car seat, began to wail. "She's mine. Give her to me." 911, what's your emergency? The dispatcher's voice was calm, a stark contrast to the chaos unfolding. "This is Ethan Fletcher, 28, Oak Street. Subject violating restraining order. Just physically grabbed my infant daughter. I need officers immediately." Samantha's face contorted, a mixture of rage and something else I couldn't quite place. "You always get everything. Mom and Dad loved you more, and now you get babies and I get nothing." Those words, they stopped me cold. Not because they were true, but because she actually believed them. Loved me more. Me? The spare kid? Are you serious right now? I stared at her, disbelieving. "You were always the good one." I had to beg for their attention. "I got ignored my entire childhood while they praised everything you did." The wail of sirens grew closer. Samantha heard them. Her gaze darted from me to Sophia screaming in my arms, then to Liam crying in the car. Her hand reached for the back door handle, a desperate attempt to get to Liam. I instinctively blocked her with my body. "Don't. You can't do this," she said, her voice now flat, distant. "Mom promised me. She's mine. Sophia's mine." 2 patrol cars pulled up, 4 officers spilling out. Samantha backed away from the car but didn't run. "That's her," I told the officers, my voice tight. "Samantha Fletcher. Active restraining order. She just grabbed my daughter and tried to access my vehicle to get to my son." "Ma'am, step away from the vehicle." "Those are my babies," Samantha insisted, that same flat voice. "He took them." "Ma'am, step back." No, she tried to move toward me again. 2 officers grabbed her arms, pulling her back. She went limp, just kept talking. "They're mine. She promised me. Mom promised. Baby B was mine." They got her in cuffs, led her to the patrol car. She stared at Sophia the whole time, face blank. The senior officer came back. "You okay? Baby's hurt?" "We're fine." "Scared, but fine." I was shaking. We'll need a statement. CPS might want to talk to you, too. Standard procedure. I understand. The whole thing's on my security camera if you need it. That'll help. We're taking her to county. Given the restraining order violation, the attempted grab, and her mental state, she's looking at serious charges. As they drove away, Samantha was still staring. I got the twins inside. It took 20 minutes to calm them down. Sophia wouldn't let go of my shirt. Liam kept crying even after I picked him up. Chloe came home early, rushing in. She didn't say anything for a long time, just sat beside us on the couch, holding my hand, her presence a silent anchor. It's over now, she finally said. Right. It had to be. But I didn't feel victorious. Just exhausted, sad, and angry all at once. My whole life, I'd been the spare kid. The one who existed to make Samantha look better. She got the spotlight, I got leftovers. She made honor roll, steakhouse dinner. I made honor roll, a lukewarm, that's nice, without eye contact. If she needed textbook money, Dad's credit card was out. If I did, it was a lecture on responsibility. She wrecked her car, they bought her a new one. I needed tires, it was figure it out. You don't see it clearly when you're in it. You just think that's normal. Some kids get attention. Some learn to not need it. I met Chloe when I was 23. She was doing nursing clinicals at the hospital where I worked as a paramedic. Smart, funny, didn't take garbage from anyone. We got married 2 years later, a small wedding where my parents spent the entire reception talking about Samantha's new promotion. Chloe noticed. Is it always like that? She asked later. Like what? Like Samantha's the only kid they have. Pretty much. That's messed up. But here's the thing, they weren't monsters. Not then. My dad taught me to drive stick, patient through every stall. My mom showed up to exactly one of my high school track meets and actually cheered. They paid for half my EMT certification. Small moments, rare enough that I held onto them harder than I should have. I kept thinking if I just needed them less, asked for less, it would hurt less. Turns out, I was just training myself to expect nothing. Samantha had married Michael 2 years before us. He worked pharmaceutical sales, seemed fine. They started trying for kids. Year 1, nothing. Year 2, still nothing. Samantha saw specialists, tried treatments. By year 3, she'd become bitter and resentful, saying things like, "You always had it easier, Ethan," or "Mom and Dad never expected anything from you." Rewriting history to make herself the victim. Then Chloe got pregnant. We weren't trying, just living our lives. Boom. Positive test. We didn't tell anyone until 12 weeks when we saw the ultrasound. That's when we found out it was twins. 2 healthy babies due late March. We were ecstatic. We told my parents that Sunday. Dinner at their place, which usually meant listening to them talk about Samantha for 2 hours. "We have news," I said during a break. "Chloe's pregnant. 12 weeks. Twins." My mom's face did this weird smile where her eyes stayed cold. "Twins? That's a lot." "Congratulations," Dad said, already on his phone. "2 babies at once," Mom continued. "That's expensive and exhausting. Hope you're prepared." "We'll manage," Chloe said, her voice tight. "You'll have your hands full. Maybe Samantha can help out. She's wonderful with kids. Couldn't even let us have 5 minutes without making it about Samantha." We left early. 3 days later, Samantha showed up at our apartment unannounced. 7 p.m. Wednesday. Chloe answered while I was in the shower. When I came out, they were sitting in the living room. The energy felt like a bomb waiting to go off. "What's up?" I asked. "I came to talk about the babies," Samantha said. "I have a proposal." I got a bad feeling. "You're having twins? That's overwhelming for first-time parents. I've been trying for 4 years with no luck. What if one twin came to live with Michael and me? You'd see them all the time. Joint holidays, birthdays, you'd only handle one baby. I'd finally be a mom, perfect for everyone." I stared at her. Chloe's face went blank. "You want us to give you one of our babies?" I said slowly. "Not give, share. Like co-parenting from the start." "No," Chloe said, her voice like ice. "Just, no. Those are our children. Both of them. End of discussion." Samantha's mask slipped. "You're selfish. You don't need 2 babies. I need one. I deserve to be a mother." That word again, deserve. Chloe stood. "You think you can just claim babies because you want them? Mom and Dad think it's a good idea." The mask was completely off now. "Mom and Dad can think whatever they want," I said. "The answer's no." Samantha stood. "You're making a mistake. You'll burn out with twins. And when you do, don't come crying for help." She left, slamming the door. Chloe looked at me. "Did that just happen?" "Unfortunately, your sister asked for our baby. Your parents are okay with it." I thought about every time they'd chosen Samantha over me. Every excuse for her behavior. Every time I was expected to just take it. It's going to get worse. Mom called next morning. I was at the station, halfway through a 12-hour shift. "Ethan, we need to talk." "There's nothing to talk about. It's not insane. She's your sister. She's struggling. You're about to have 2 babies you can't handle alone. We're not giving her a kid. She just wants to help raise one. You'd still be the father. Everyone wins. Everyone except us watching our child grow up somewhere else. Don't be dramatic. You'd see them constantly." "Ethan, I think you're being selfish. Samantha's been through hell. She deserves this." That word again. I got to go. "We're not discussing this again." I hung up. My partner, Marcus, looked over. "Family drama. My sister wants me to give her one of our twins." Marcus blinked. "That's deranged. Tell me about it." "Document everything," he said. "Seriously, my cousin went through something with his ex. If this gets legal, you'll want records." Good advice. I started a folder on my phone that day. Screenshots, voicemails, dates, times, everything. Dad called that afternoon, left a voicemail. "Your mother's upset. Call her back and apologize. Samantha's going through a hard time and you're making it worse." Never asked how I was doing. Never asked about Chloe. Just Samantha, like always. I didn't call back. 2 days later, Samantha showed up at our apartment again. 6:30 a.m. Chloe was getting ready for her shift when the doorbell rang. I checked through the peephole. Samantha, holding a baby onesie. I opened the door, left the chain on. "What?" "I brought this for baby B, yellow, since you don't know the genders yet." Neutral. "We're not doing this. Go home." "Ethan, please. I just want to be involved. I could come to doctor appointments, help you set up the nursery." "No. You can't keep me away from my baby. It's not your baby. It's mine and Chloe's. Both of them." Her face hardened. You're going to regret cutting me out. I'm trying to help you. She left. I kept the onesie as evidence. Photographed it with a timestamp visible. That weekend, Mom showed up unannounced. Chloe was 14 weeks along, starting to show. Mom walked in like she owned the place. Just wanted to check on you too. Make sure everything's okay with the pregnancy. We're fine, Chloe said. You look tired. Are you getting enough rest? With twins, you really need to take care of yourself. You know, Samantha's offered to help. She's got so much free time now. She could move in for the first few months. Help with night feedings. That's not happening, I said. You're going to need help. Don't be stubborn. We'll figure it out ourselves. Mom's mouth tightened. Fine. But when you're exhausted and overwhelmed, don't expect us to drop everything. She left. Chloe locked the door behind her. This is insane. I didn't even bother agreeing anymore. Over the next month, it became coordinated. My parents started calling my lieutenant with casual questions about my stress levels and work performance. Just worried about Ethan, you know. Big life changes. Twins on the way. How's he handling the pressure? My lieutenant pulled me aside. What's going on with your family? They want me to give my sister one of my kids. He stared at me. That's not a thing people do. I know. You need help with this. Just don't believe anything they say about me. Got it? Samantha created a fake Facebook account. Started commenting on Chloe's pregnancy posts. Can't wait to meet baby B and already have the nursery ready. Chloe blocked her. Samantha made another account, then another. Chloe went private. Samantha started trying to friend request everyone on Chloe's friends list, asking innocent questions about us, where we lived, when the babies were due. Chloe's cousin Megan caught on, screenshot everything, sent it to us. More evidence for the folder. Then they went after Chloe's job. Someone called the hospital HR department, claiming to be a concerned family member. Said Chloe was exhibiting erratic behavior, making poor decisions, possibly endangering her pregnancy through stress. Chloe came home shaking. They called my work. I knew exactly who. My family. They're trying to get me fired, Ethan. Chloe's stepdad, Robert, was an attorney. Corporate law, not family law, but he knew people. Made calls that weekend. By Monday, Chloe had a lawyer, a woman named Olivia, who specialized in harassment cases. Olivia sent a cease and desist letter. Clear language: stop contacting us. Stop showing up at our home. Stop calling our employers. Stop interfering with medical appointments. Or we file for a restraining order. My mom called me crying. How could you send us a legal letter? How could you call Chloe's job? We were worried. Samantha's not doing well. Not my problem. Leave us alone. I hung up. Changed my number that afternoon. Chloe changed hers, too. We thought that would be the end of it. It wasn't. The family meeting was Mom's idea. Email through a cousin I'd forgotten to block. Said we needed to sit down and talk like adults. Calm conversation about what was best for everyone. I knew it was a trap, but if I didn't show up, they'd use it as proof I was unreasonable. So, we went. Big mistake. Saturday afternoon at my parents' place. Plan for 30 minutes max, hear them out. Say no. Leave. When we walked in, Samantha and Michael were there. So was Uncle George, Aunt Carol, Michael's parents, 2 of my cousins. Maybe 12 people total crammed in the living room. This wasn't a meeting. This was an intervention. What is this? Chloe asked. Just everyone who cares about this situation, my mom said. We all want to help find a solution. There's no solution to find, I said. We're not giving Samantha a baby. Just sit down, my dad said. Let's talk this through. We should have left right then, but I was curious how far they'd take this. So, we sat. Samantha started talking. No note cards this time, but she clearly rehearsed. First, I want to thank everyone for being here. Ethan and Chloe are expecting twins. That's wonderful. But twins are hard. Statistics show parents of multiples have higher rates of stress and exhaustion. Meanwhile, Michael and I have a stable home, flexible schedules, financial means. We've been trying for 4 years. We're ready to be parents. Ready for what? Chloe said. Ready to take someone else's child? Not take. Help. This is about what's best for the children. What's best is being with their actual parents. Samantha's voice cracked. You're not even showing yet, and you're already overwhelmed. How are you planning to manage twins? Like every other parent, I said. But you don't have to struggle. We can share. No, my mom jumped in. Why are you being so stubborn? Samantha needs this. I don't care what Samantha needs. Those are my kids. They're my grandchildren. Don't I get a say? No, Uncle George spoke up. He was 62, retired from the railroad. Usually stayed out of drama. Can I say something? Of course, my dad said. George looked at me, then at my parents. I've been sitting here for 20 minutes, and I have to be honest. This is one of the craziest things I've ever heard. My dad's face went red. George, no. Let me finish. You're asking Ethan and Chloe to give up one of their children because Samantha can't have kids. You don't think that's harmful? Splitting up twins from birth? Stay out of this. Somebody needs to say it. You've been favoring Samantha over Ethan their entire lives. Everyone sees it. And now you want him to hand over his child to keep her happy. The room went silent. My mom's face was white. We love both our children equally, she said finally. Do you? When's the last time you went to one of Ethan's work events? That's different. Ethan's more independent. More independent or more ignored? That's enough, my dad said. No, this boy's been the backup kid his whole life, and now you want him to hand over his own flesh and blood? He stood up. Ethan, Chloe, I'm sorry you had to deal with this. You're doing the right thing. He walked out. Aunt Carol followed. The room exploded. People talking over each other. I grabbed Chloe's hand. We're leaving. Ethan, wait, Samantha started. I'm done. Don't contact us again. We left. In the car, Chloe was shaking. That was horrible. I just nodded. Your uncle was right. They do favor her. I know, but here's what got me. Part of me had wanted them to see reason, to look at the situation and realize how insane it was. Instead, they doubled down, made me the villain for protecting my own kids. That night, my phone buzzed. New number. Samantha, I know you're angry, but I've already talked to a lawyer about shared custody arrangements. When you're ready to discuss this reasonably, I'll be here. She'd already consulted a lawyer about my unborn children. I screenshotted it, added it to the evidence folder. At 20 weeks, we had our anatomy scan. 1 boy, 1 girl. Everything healthy. We posted a simple announcement, meet baby A and baby B, coming March 2022. We didn't tell my family the appointment time. Didn't tell anyone except Chloe's parents. Samantha knew. She was in the waiting room when we arrived. Later, I'd find out she'd been calling the office, pretending to be Chloe, asking to confirm appointment times. They'd given them out before we'd flagged the account with my mom. "What are you doing here?" I asked. "We wanted to see the babies," Mom said. "You're not coming back with us." The tech called Chloe's name. We stood. Samantha moved to follow. "Ma'am, only parents allowed back," the tech said. "But I'm the aunt." "Just us," I said to the tech. She nodded. As we walked down the hallway, I could hear my mom's voice rising at the front desk, demanding to know hospital policy. In the exam room, Chloe was pale. "How did they know?" "They must have called, pretending to be you." We had the appointment. Both babies healthy, measuring well. Afterward, we set up new password protection on everything. At 24 weeks, someone tried to change Chloe's emergency contact information at her OB office. Called pretending to be her, used basic information, her birth date, our address, to try to verify identity. Tried to list my mother as primary contact, Samantha as secondary. The receptionist caught it because the voice sounded wrong and the caller couldn't answer a verification question about Chloe's previous employer. Chloe came home white-faced. They tried to make themselves my emergency contacts. So if something happened during delivery, they'd be making decisions, not you. By Monday, Chloe had Olivia back on retainer. Olivia reviewed everything we'd documented. This crosses into criminal harassment territory, medical identity theft, workplace interference, sustained pattern of contact after a cease and desist. I'm recommending you file for a restraining order. Will that work? Chloe asked. It creates legal boundaries with real consequences. Right now, they're just being awful. With an order, violations become arrestable offenses. Olivia sent a second, stronger cease and desist. First standard procedure, show the court you tried less extreme measures. It included explicit language, any further contact, any attempts to access medical information, any third-party interference would result in immediate court action. My mom's response came via my dad's email. "We're just concerned grandparents. This hostility is unnecessary and cruel." 2 days later, someone called Chloe's work again. Different voice, same claims about her being unstable. Olivia filed the restraining order petition that afternoon. At 26 weeks, Uncle George called. "Ethan, you need to know something. I was at your parents' yesterday. Heard your mom on the phone with Samantha. She said, 'Don't worry, honey. Ethan will come around, and if he doesn't, we'll find another way.' You're getting that, baby. Another way. Thanks for telling me, George. Watch your back. They're not thinking straight about this." The detective assigned to our harassment complaint called that week, said the attempted medical identity theft was solid. The workplace calls were documented, and the pattern was clear. The DA probably won't prosecute standalone, but it strengthens your restraining order case significantly. That week, my dad left a voicemail. Calm, measured. "Son, this standoff needs to end. Samantha's falling apart. If you won't help voluntarily, we may need to pursue other options. Think about your family before this gets ugly." A threat. I added it to the file. At 28 weeks, Olivia filed our petition for a temporary restraining order. Requested 300-foot minimum distance, no contact of any kind, no third-party contact through friends or relatives. Hearing was set for 2 weeks out. Then my parents filed their own petition for grandparents' rights. Olivia had warned us this might happen. "It's a Hail Mary," she'd said. "But people file crazy petitions all the time. We'll get it dismissed, but it'll tie up court time." The petition claimed they'd been actively involved in planning for the children's arrival and that we were unjustly excluding them from their grandchildren's lives without cause. It requested standing to petition for visitation and input on major decisions. Olivia reviewed it with us. This is thin. They have no existing relationship with unborn children. No jurisdiction even gives grandparents' rights to kids who aren't born yet. Judge will dismiss on procedure, but they filed it. Right. And now it's documented that they're attempting to establish legal claims to your children before birth. Actually helps our case. 2 weeks later, both hearings happened the same day. Different courtrooms, different judges. The grandparents' rights petition got dismissed in under 10 minutes. The judge reviewed the filing, looked up. Petitioners are seeking standing for grandparents' rights regarding unborn minors. Is that correct? My parents' attorney, a guy they'd clearly found cheap, nodded. That's correct, Your Honor. My clients there's no existing relationship to protect. The statute requires a demonstrated prior relationship with the child. These children aren't born. Petition is procedurally defective. Dismissed. My dad started to argue. The judge was already standing. Dismissed. Next case. They left looking stunned. Our restraining order hearing was more involved. Olivia brought the evidence folder, printed and organized. 47 incidents over 4 months. Text messages, voicemails, medical record tampering attempts, workplace harassment, social media stalking, the detective's report, Uncle George's statement. The judge read through it carefully, asked my mom directly. Ma'am, did you call the respondent's wife's employer with concerns about her mental state? I was worried. Yes or no? Yes. Did you attempt to access her medical records by impersonating her? I just wanted to know they were okay. Yes or no? My mom looked at her lawyer. He nodded reluctantly. Yes. The judge reviewed a few more pages. This shows a sustained pattern of harassment, identity theft attempts, and third-party interference. I'm granting a temporary protective order. 300-foot distance, no direct contact, no indirect contact through third parties, no social media contact. Duration 6 months, renewable. Violation is a criminal offense. My parents' lawyer tried to object. The judge cut him off. The evidence supports the order. If respondents believe they're being treated unfairly, they can petition to dissolve at the renewal hearing. Next case. My parents walked out without looking at me. Samantha was crying in the hallway. Chloe went into labor on March 23rd, contractions started at midnight. By 2 a.m., we were at the hospital. Before they took her back, I pulled the charge nurse aside, showed her photos of my parents and Samantha. These people have a restraining order against them. They're not allowed near my wife or our babies. If they show up, call security immediately. She looked at the photos. We'll add them to the restricted list. Password protect the room number, please, and put a note in the chart. No information given to anyone not on our approved visitor list. Got it. Our son, Liam, was born at 6:47 a.m. 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Our daughter, Sophia, 8 minutes later, 6 pounds, 9 ounces. Both healthy, both perfect. The hospital had our visitor list on file. Only Chloe's parents, her sister, Uncle George, and 2 close friends. According to the incident report we got later, my mom called the main desk 11 times trying to get our room number. Security escorted her out of the lobby when she tried to slip past by claiming she was visiting someone else. They documented everything, sent us copies. We forwarded it to Olivia. That's one violation, she wrote back. Document, but don't engage. Let them dig their own hole. We stayed 2 days. During that time, I got a text from an unknown number. Congratulations on the babies. Can't wait to meet them. Samantha, new phone. Screenshot it. Send to Olivia. Violation 2. Still documenting. When we took Liam and Sophia home, we installed security cameras. Front door, back door, parking lot, cloud storage recording saved automatically. If anyone showed up, we'd have proof. They showed up the second day we were home. 8 a.m. Doorbell ringing while I was trying to figure out how two tiny humans could produce so much laundry. Camera showed my mom and Samantha on the doorstep. Samantha held a diaper bag. I didn't open the door. Watched through the camera. Grabbed my phone. They rang again. Knocked. My mom called through the door. Ethan, we know you're in there. 5 minutes. That's all we're asking. I texted Olivia. Mom and Samantha at front door. What do I do? She called immediately. Don't open it. Don't engage verbally. Let them leave. We're documenting a pattern for contempt. Courts respond best when we can show repeated disregard for the order. If they try to enter, make threats, or won't leave, call 911 immediately. How many violations before depends on severity. Doorstep visit is bad but not dangerous. If they try to enter or if they make threats, call 911 immediately. Otherwise, we're building the case that they can't follow court orders, even with clear boundaries. I watched through the camera. My mom's face was red, angry. Samantha kept staring at the door like she could see through it. They stood there for 3 minutes. Then my mom saw me through the window holding my phone. Fine, she said. But you're making a mistake. They left. I saved the footage, sent it to Olivia, wrote down the time, the date, what was said. Chloe came out of the bedroom. They actually came. Olivia says we're documenting the pattern. If we call the cops every time, they'll argue we're overreacting. We need to show they're escalating. I hate this. Me, too. 3 days later, 9 p.m. Samantha alone this time. Ringing the doorbell, knocking, calling through the mail slot. Ethan, please. I need to see them. Just Sophia, just for a minute. This time, I called 911. The dispatcher heard Samantha's voice in the background, sent a unit. Officers arrived, checked the restraining order on their system, told Samantha she needed to leave immediately. I'm her aunt. Ma'am, you're violating a court order. You need to leave now, or you'll be arrested. She left. But that night, she posted on Facebook, missing my sweet Sophia so much. Can't wait until her daddy stops being stubborn and lets me meet her. Public post. Tagged our local area. Screenshot. Add to file. Olivia's response, that's contempt material. Indirect contact via social media while referencing the protected parties by name. At 6 weeks, Samantha filed a child welfare check request. Claimed she'd heard the babies crying for hours. Suspected neglect. 2 officers showed up at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday. Polite but serious. We got a report of possible child neglect at this address. I showed them inside. Both twins asleep in their bassinets. Showed them the nursery. Our pediatrician's records explained the situation. Your sister called this in, one officer said. She's been trying to take one of my kids since before they were born. Filed a false report to harass us. I pulled up the evidence folder on my phone. Showed him the restraining order, the timeline, the documented violations. That's extreme, he said. That's family. They filed a report clearing us, noted the apparent false reporting. You should talk to your lawyer about pressing charges. This is harassment, and filing false reports wastes our time. Olivia filed a motion for contempt that week. For documented violations, the false welfare check, the ongoing social media contact. Hearing set for 3 weeks out. That night, I sat on the couch with Liam asleep on my chest. The apartment was quiet. Chloe was finally sleeping. Sophia was in her bassinet. And I just felt tired. Not the physical exhaustion of new parent life, something deeper. I'd spent 2 months as a father defending my kids instead of celebrating them, building walls, collecting evidence, waiting for the next violation. I looked at Liam. So small, so oblivious. My parents had looked at him and his sister and seen bargaining chips. Not grandchildren, tools. Part of me kept waiting for them to meet the twins and snap out of it. To remember what family meant. But seeing actual grandchildren made them worse, not better. Liam stirred, his hand curled around my finger. This was my family now. Everyone else was just noise. The criminal case moved fast. Samantha was charged with attempted child abduction, violation of a restraining order, and criminal harassment. The prosecutor pushed for prison time based on the pattern, months of escalation, a psych evaluation showing she genuinely believed Sophia belonged to her, the physical attempt to take both children. Her public defender tried to argue mental illness. The prosecutor countered with the timeline, months of calculated planning, fake social media accounts, legal consultation about custody, medical record tampering, the grandparents' rights petition. The defendant has demonstrated a persistent and escalating campaign to access these children, the prosecutor said at the preliminary hearing. Her actions were methodical, organized, and continued despite repeated legal boundaries. Mental illness may be a factor, but it doesn't negate criminal intent or the danger she poses. Samantha's lawyer tried to negotiate. The prosecutor wasn't interested in a light deal. Eventually, they reached a plea. Guilty to attempted child abduction and restraining order violation. The harassment charges rolled into sentencing consideration. 3 years in a county detention center with mandatory psychiatric treatment. Eligible for parole after 18 months with proof of treatment compliance. My parents attended the sentencing. Uncle George told me later my mom cried through it. My dad sat stone-faced. They didn't speak to me. Didn't acknowledge me at all. The restraining order got extended to match Samantha's sentence, then 3 years beyond her release. We requested and received a separate order against my parents after they showed up at our apartment twice more during Samantha's pre-trial period. Once trying to convince us to ask the prosecutor to drop charges, once demanding we bring the twins to visit Samantha in detention. Both visits caught on camera, both documented. Olivia was matter-of-fact about it. They've demonstrated they can't respect boundaries. Better to have the legal protection. The judge agreed without much discussion. That should have been the end. Legal closure. Everyone separated. Boundaries enforced. But it wasn't quite done. 6 months after Samantha's sentencing, we moved. Different state. Chloe got a position at a hospital in a smaller city about an hour and a half away. I transferred to a new department. We rented a house in a quiet neighborhood. We told Uncle George, Chloe's parents, 2 close friends. That was it. No forwarding address filed, no social media updates. Just disappeared. It felt like running, but it felt like breathing, too. Liam and Sophia turned 1 in March. Small party with our new neighbors, Chloe's parents, Uncle George. Normal people who weren't trying to steal our kids. We made cupcakes. Liam smashed his into his face, got frosting everywhere. Sophia clapped and laughed. Perfect. Ordinary chaos. That night, Chloe and I cleaned up while the twins slept. Think they'll ever know, she asked, about all of it? Maybe someday, when they're older, if they ask. You think your parents will try to find us again? I thought about it. About the people who'd raised me, who'd shown up to exactly one track meet, who'd taught me to drive stick, who'd enabled their daughter's delusions until she tried to kidnap my child. Probably eventually, but we'll deal with it if it happens. She nodded, put her head on my shoulder. We had 18 months of peace after that. Quiet, normal life. Liam and Sophia grew. Started walking, started talking, started being actual tiny people with opinions about everything. Then I got a notification from Victim Services. Samantha was being released early for good behavior. Still required to attend treatment, still barred from contact, but out after just over 2 years. The notification included her release address. Same town as my parents, of course. 2 weeks later, a letter came, forwarded through our attorney because Samantha didn't have our address. One sentence in handwriting I recognized: Sophia will always be mine. I burned it. Updated security protocols at the twins' daycare. Made sure every staff member knew the situation, had photos, understood no one except me and Chloe could pick up the kids. Olivia advised us to file for an extension on the restraining order. The letter shows she hasn't moved past this. Judge will extend based on that alone. She was right. The extension was granted after a brief status hearing, unopposed. For months after Samantha's release, Saturday morning. Knock on our door. Camera showed my parents. Uncle George had warned me they'd been asking questions, trying to figure out where we'd moved. He'd told them nothing, but they'd kept pushing. Eventually, they'd hired someone to run searches, DMV records, voter registration, employment databases. Cost them a few hundred and a couple weeks, but they found us. I opened the door, left the chain on. What do you want? My mom looked older, grayer, thinner. My dad looked the same. We want to see our grandchildren, Mom said. No, Ethan, please. It's been 3 years. We've learned. We just want a chance. You enabled Samantha until she tried to kidnap my kid. You violated restraining orders. You called CPS with false reports. You don't get chances. We made mistakes. Mistakes? I stared at her. You tried to coerce us into giving up our daughter. You tampered with medical records. You harassed Chloe's workplace. Those aren't mistakes. Those are choices. My dad spoke. You're being selfish. Those children deserve to know their family. They know their family. Chloe's parents. Uncle George. People who actually respect boundaries. We're their grandparents. You're strangers who prioritize Samantha's delusions over their safety. You're not welcome here. Leave. Mom's voice cracked. Samantha lost everything because you wouldn't share her marriage, her freedom, her whole life, and you got everything. Still. After 3 years. After Samantha had been convicted, after documented evidence of escalating danger, they still thought the problem was me not giving them what they wanted. Still saw Samantha as the victim. Leave, or I call the police. My dad shook his head. You were always ungrateful. That hasn't changed, but I'm ungrateful with kids who are safe, so I'll take it. They left, got in their car, drove away. I watched until they turned off our street. Called Olivia from the doorway. My parents just showed up. How'd they find you? Hired someone, apparently. Ran database searches. That's a violation. I'll file the motion Monday. This will extend the order another 5 years easy. And we'll add stronger language about attempting to locate you. Chloe came up behind me after I hung up. Yeah. Olivia's filing Monday. You okay? I thought about the kid I used to be. The one who'd needed their approval so badly. I'd convinced myself I didn't need it at all. The teenager who couldn't understand why nothing was ever enough. The adult who'd kept hoping they'd change. That person was gone. In his place was a father who'd chosen his children over everything, who'd built walls and filed restraining orders and moved states and done whatever it took to keep them safe. "I'm fine," I said. That afternoon, we took Liam and Sophia to the park. They played on the swings. Liam pushing Sophia even though she was too heavy for him. They both laughed when she went too high. Chloe and I sat on a bench watching. "We made it," she said. I nodded. Some families aren't worth keeping. Some bridges aren't worth repairing. Sometimes the best thing you can do is walk away and build something better with people who deserve you. Liam and Sophia would grow up loved. Not split up, not shared, not compromised. Just loved by parents who chose them over everything else. Sophia called for me to push her higher. Liam tried to spin himself dizzy on the merry-go-round. Normal kid chaos. I walked over, helped Liam off before he fell, gave Sophia one good push on the swing. She shrieked with joy. And I thought, this is enough. This is everything, have you ever had to draw a line in the sand with family, knowing it might mean losing them forever?